Well, welcome to another edition of the Digicel Sports Show right here on Islandstats.com. I'm your host, Earl Baston, and joining me yet again is Jason Juggling J, Lucky Juggling J Ford. Yeah, you got lucky, brother. It was a lucky football week for you. Your Patriots have made it to the Super Bowl.
Not for the Patriots.
Your second team, Eagles, have made it to the Super Bowl.
I can't stand the Eagles.
Beloved PHC went down.
Yeah. Keep going. It's been rough.
It's been a rough weekend. But we'll have football. We're going to have triathlon and squash after this message from our sponsor.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber to the home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Well, Jay, many people talk about a weekend of shocking results. Mm-hmm. We've seen it globally. Mm-hmm. But we want to jump right to Saturday night.
Didn't see this coming.
Not at all. Bermuda Football Association's Premier Division match, Robin Hood were at home to Crossroads. Now, you even predicted a score of 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1.
We both picked Robin Hood to win this match. Well, congratulations, Crossroads. 5-1 victors.
Salute.
Got a chance to speak with both Timmy Figueredo and John Mary Newsom on Sunday morning. They were both feeling their blows because they both played.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. Both of them, they've got injuries and a whole host of other problems that would contribute to numbers.
And if we just rewind our tape from the last show, you was joking about Timmy playing, maybe giving Jason a break.
Yeah, well, Jason has an ankle injury that is taking a lot longer than they would like.
So Timmy is needed.
And everybody could continue on this.
So we said Timmy once in a while.
Yeah.
It's back-to-back stuff.
Poor Timothy.
Yeah, poor Timmy.
But, defending league champions.
Earl, that's been my concern. I've stated it many times over the last month and a half, 2 months, when we start to see the depletion of their bench. And you know what? I don't really want to say this, but it's the elephant in the room. Can it be coaching? When I say coaching, style of coaching that has maybe chased people or people not coming out. Not personally.
Right.
Because personally, Jordan's a great guy. I'm just asking the question.
I'll put it
because
down.
sometimes when
coaching personnel changes.
Right.
Yeah.
And I say this, sir, because keeping the context, this is the lead. This the defending champions. So you normally see this if somebody who don't have a cup or don't have a trophy and it's probably mid-table, not really in anything, nothing to really fight for. You start seeing a drop off.
Right.
But as defending champions, who up until even to last week, still a chance because just think about it with PAC losing.
Right. Okay, I'll answer that.
Yeah. I'll throw it out there.
I don't think it is.
Okay.
I'm going to put it down to this. When you lost central defender Darius Cox.
Yes. Who now playing for Southampton Rangers.
But you picked up Dante Levrock.
Who now is
going to Estonia to be a professional. Down the middle, you've created the coach has now got a problem.
Yes.
Because what you want to be is solid down the middle. Here lies another problem. Jason Simons didn't start the season.
Right.
He's now injured. another down the middle part of the problem that the previous coach did not face, this new coach is facing. Replacing integral parts of your team with players who are not of the caliber that you've lost creates a big problem.
Okay, and then I understand the problem, but that's not talking about the problem of lack of depth.
They had the same problem last year.
They did, actually.
They had the same problem last year. It's just that they didn't lose those significant players in those positions for long periods of time.
I'm only going off of what I'm reading as far as team lineups and stuff. And I'm just going to rely to you on this. And I saw this happen last year. I actually saw this happen last year, and I know this happened a bit of this year. Antoine Russell is doing all he can in other positions.
In other positions, yeah. To not lose the match.
Yeah.
Because they know if they get a half chance, Lejean Simmons could put a chance away.
Right.
If Antoine gets a half chance, he could put that away. But now players are playing in positions to not lose matches.
And that's a difference.
Yeah.
Playing.
Yeah. When you got Shakir playing left back,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because he's another threat going forward. But because you're depleted on the inside, that threat going forward is now null and void.
Nathan hasn't been consistent in the team enough to.
I mean, he started out in goal.
Yeah.
You know, so the problems facing the team, I don't think you can put it down to coaching. I honestly believe that they've had problems in the areas which the previous coach did not have problems in, because he had solid players in those positions.
Right.
And due to the lack, one left and another's going to be a professional in a significant area.
Jalen Bethel.
He's a marking center half. He's a role player. You know what I mean? He's not a standout leader. And in certain positions on the field, you need that leader. That person, when you turn around, you say, "Oh yeah, he could possibly."
Like I said, for me, it was more of the lack of depth.
Right.
Because
I mean, I looked down their bench when they won the league.
When I heard Johnny has to play.
Yeah.
When I heard Timmy
has to play. Yeah. The day they won the league, I think they only had 4 people on the bench.
And you said it, like I said, correctly. You remember Eureka Otterbridge came from a late transfer.
Right.
And actually couldn't find a way onto Danny Town's team. Right. But actually found his way
onto Robin Hood. As a role player. Yeah, and scored some vital goals. You know what I mean? So that's the type of stuff. Now, all that changes because now they're depending on players.
Yeah.
Role players have now got more responsibility. Yeah. And if that's out of their depth, then you find, hey, they struggle. You know, and it's no fault of theirs. It's just injuries and loss of key players have helped contribute to the position that Robin Hood find themselves in today.
And they dropped from second place to 4th.
Yeah.
So it's going to be now, and we talked about that when it came to the FA. It's going to get to that point.
And I said it. If they had a chance, if they had a chance to stay in the league or contest for the league title, they would ease up. But now, the chances of them winning the trophy is the FA.
But what you call ease up?
Well, I mean,
if you don't have players, they just don't drop out of the sky.
But I do believe that some of their Corona players could play in the FA. I do believe that because they're registered to play for them.
Right.
So they could play in the So
that's how. Right.
So those numbers for that Sunday. Hey, can you guys come in? But now, I think the only chance that they see of winning a trophy is the FA Cup.
That's gonna be hard, and I say that's gonna be hard.
But it's only 3 games. You only have to win 3 games.
Yeah, but it's 3 games that your chemistry's got to be right.
Well, if you focus on those 3 games, not saying you take away from the league, but if you focus on those 3 games, one of those games, basically, you should roll over some joy.
Okay, so let me just back up. So let's tell folks what's the difference between Premier and Corona. Premier guys will have maybe 1 or 2 training sessions, at least 1 training session. Some teams 3 as the top teams, but If you can get 2 training sessions out of the week, it's a good week.
Right.
Corona,
no. It's less commitment. I show up on a Saturday.
So we're saying
night.
focus on. It's hard to have these guys come in who's not used to
but
focusing. And you look at it, you're only expecting these guys using a raw talent.
Right. But my thing is this, and this is what I was saying.
To fit in a team concept.
If, hypothetically, Robin Hood would have won, and the same result would have held at St. John's the next day, Robin Hood would be 3 points behind PAC in a different position.
Yeah.
So you start looking at, you got 2 more games, or 2 more league games before the FA Cup game. 2 or 3 more league games, right? If you remain in that position or gotten closer,
you can't afford to.
Right. So you would say, hey, I don't want to get guys injured. Real players, you're gonna play. We're gonna bring in some Corona League guys to play. If we lose to St. George's, don't worry about it. We want to defend the title.
Right.
But now that all changes.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. Like you said, it's gonna be interesting with the nuances around NBA because it's gonna be interesting how these guys manage. And I think that's what's now. It's we have to manage the.
You got more people on the workbench than you do on the actual bench. So that's I understand the position they find themselves in and how they manage it is going to be the key.
And like I said, I only pose the question because we will be asking these questions with somebody else with another team being defending
champions. That's right. Yeah. Well, look, league leaders looked unbeatable on Sunday.
Until
Sunday. They went to St. John's. Always going to be a tough,
and
because
that's been
there's pride around St. John's.
Yeah.
And early in the season they struggled a little bit, but things have come full circle for them. Ian Cook scoring goals.
Wow.
Angelo Simmons scoring goals. So they're getting those 2 consistent.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody was quiet on Dendytown through the first half of the season.
Well, we said that. We said, it's going to be interesting the season that Dendytown will have because it's all going to depend on the chemistry of these 2 players, even though they have played together before.
Right.
They had to see, where their roles will be and the other players knew where they like to be serviced. Because a lot of times, especially for strikers, is where they want the ball.
Right.
Where they're, do I want it high? Do I want it? Do I want any space? Do I want it, to my feet?
Right. Yeah.
And I tell you, the older they get, they want it to their feet.
Yeah.
To my feet.
Yeah.
But so in saying that, these things will it's just a matter of time where the coaching staff and everybody gets to figure out what's the best 11. We even talked about that with PAC. We thought, even though they were on top of the table, what is their best 11?
Yeah.
and at prior to today is still
how do we match it?
So it might even be now where, good thing with PAC, they're still got about 20 guys. So they can actually pick a team based on what's the strategy is against the team's weakness.
Right.
So a little bit different scenario in that because they have numbers. But with Dendytown, they're still going to need because that's a game, if they wanted to sniff a league title, that's a game they had to
win. But they're going to need help.
But they're still going to need somebody else to knock off PAC and basically another.
I really can't wait until Sunday because I want to see how PAC bounce back.
Yeah.
It's if you want to be a champion, it's how you bounce back from a defeat.
Most definitely.
You see that in all other sports, especially boxing. When the champion loses, he wants a rematch right away, come back the next one, and that's what you want to
let me tell you something. And it could also be a blessing.
Yes, because now the monkey off the back of being undefeated the whole season, that's going.
Yeah, it's going.
Now let's win the league.
Yeah.
Now let's win the league. When we get to the FA, we'll get to that.
You thought that, okay, we're almost invincible. Now, okay.
1-0.
Could be a lucky situation. 2-0. Okay. 3-0. No, you got defeated.
Yeah.
So, I think the coach will seem like we'll have his voice be just a little bit louder.
Yeah, sure. Because it's character now. It's a character building event. Listen, I've been telling you, you're not invincible.
Well,
if you come short,
you may have been getting away with stuff, but guess what? It reared its ugly head again.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting, like I said, to see how they bounce back, and we'll talk more about that on Thursday.
Yeah,
show
definitely.
with the matchup.
Yeah.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber to the home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Well, over at Devonshire Rec, bottom of the table Young Men's Social Club got this particular start. Well, Jay, that was the most celebration that Young Men's Social Club had on the day, because it weren't long before Devonshire Cougars equalized, went on to score 2 more goals and beat them 3-1. We both picked Devonshire Cougars. I don't know what to say about Social Club right now.
Let's rewind this tape. Imagine now, where would Social Club be? Well, it'd still be the same place. If Clay Darrow's transfer went through with Crossroads.
They'd still be in the same place.
It'd still be the same place,
Yeah.
but I don't think it'd be a lot worse.
Can it get any worse?
Well, put it this way, Aaron. Let's. It all depends on what your expectations of Social Club was. I didn't have much expectation because once you knew that they really didn't pick up any players, we know there is a big difference from First Division and Premier. The speed of the game, the commitment of players, and if you don't have a good, training ethic, preseason. I ask some questions like, guys, no, we ain't started yet. Go, guys, okay. I know the boys down at PS has been started.
Right. My fear for Social Club is this. They're an aging team.
Yeah.
The players have now had experience in the Premier Division. How many of them want to continue to play?
Well, I think Social Club a little bit different when I say this here. Most of those guys are good friends.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think probably most of those guys really, the reality has set in. This was nice.
But way over our head.
But let's go back down to
Were we comfortable?
Yeah.
But what happens if they find themselves in the position of leading the league again?
Yeah, but I think, that'll be, and I say this here because they do have a pretty decent youth program. But
that's years away.
But that's my point.
Yeah,
that's my point. So they're going to need that crop. I think the hardest part with Social Club is to keep a nucleus of guys for that next wave to come through.
Well, if they're club people, they'll hang around.
Right, and most of those guys are.
Right.
Most of those guys are. Because if you look at the makeup of Social Club players, most of those guys are fringe players or could get into the North Villages and the Boulevards and those teams that are around the neighborhood.
Right.
So I don't want to say Social Club was the easy road, but that's the
vacant route.
That's the makeup of it.
If I wanted to play, I would go.
That's the makeup of it.
Right.
If those guys knew they could get into Devonshire Cougars and North Village and the Boulevards, they would not be at that. Even though they're from around the area, but they probably would have wanted to play a higher level of football. But Social Club has, it's been the home.
Right.
And, it started out with the coach not being there, obviously, to attend to his family, which I think played a major part because he brought a lot of those guys the confidence to just trust. So a little disconnect in the beginning, but like I said, these guys are growing up around each other.
Right.
I don't see them just saying just defecting. Oh, I'm done. You know, because there's not too many. You gotta remember that only really happens when guys come. And I say that if we look at some of the West teams like the Somerset Eagles and where the guys are defecting to one team this year and then going back to another team. That's not like that around Social Club. These guys are bluebird.
Right.
They can go play ping pong in the air and it would be the same group of guys. So that's the difference with that.
Right. Well, it was no surprise at Bernard Park with North Village beating Flanagan's. I was a little surprised at the scoreline. I figured they would score more, but 3 points is 3 points. You get the job done. You now are on 20 points, 1 point out of second place.
Yeah.
Tied with Robin Hood on 20. So, to be honest, North Village haven't had a bad season as of yet. Quiet, just like Danny Town.
But once again, to whose standard?
Well,
because their standard is a little bit different.
Right. They're held to a higher standard. Them and Danny Town are held to a higher standard.
And it will be another year.
No silverware?
These years are starting to fly by. And I could tell you, the fans around it do not take it lightly, not knowing that they're not in the race or in the final.
They're back in the saying now. They're one of the teams that have to play PHC. So if they could manage to beat them, then it might help out Danny Town. It might help out their own course. But they still have Danny Town to play as well.
They still have Danny Town
to play. It's not over said and done yet.
The good thing is winning always feels good.
Yes.
So when you're winning, the confidence, we talked about confidence, they still have these big games too. And so they would think that it's still in their hands. See, it sort of hurts. Well, I won't say it hurts, but you feel helpless when you got to depend on somebody else to do.
Yes.
They actually have it in their hands. You know, and if they are able to come away with a victory against PAC, a victory against Danny Town, they're gonna need something else.
Right.
But mathematically, they can. If they win out, they will be knocking on the door. Depending on what PAC does. If PAC slips up one more time, or even just a draw, it will really make things a lot
interesting. Yeah.
So,
well, unfortunately for Flanagan's, they were on the end of yet another loss. 5 points, 6 points away from second, 8th place. Who's that? Crossroads. So, those are the type of things that you have to look at all the time and see what's going on, So they're going to struggle.
That's the opposite scenario. They are going to need help. The teams who are above them, which is Crossroads and Somerset Trojans, look, I would say 2018 has been a good year for because we didn't have all these nice things to say about those two teams in 2017. Since the turn of the year, they've come away with some positive results, and I think they needed that. So realistically, Flanagan's would have to defeat both of them, include and also
beat Social Club
to even have a chance of staying up. Because even in those matches, I would still pick them as an underdog going against Crossroads and Somerset Trojans, based on how Somerset and Crossroads have played in 2018.
Right. And the final Premier Division game was at Lords and St. David's, Boulevard Blazers and Somerset Trojans. You did indicate, you picked the home team. We both picked the home team, but you did indicate it would probably be a stalemate.
It felt like it. It felt like it.
Boulevard would have been feeling good, up 2-0. Somerset scored just before the half, and then get a second half equalizer.
And you know what? What I took out of that game, we even questioned the heart of Somerset in 2017.
Yeah.
We questioned the heart. Well, away, down 2-0, down to Davis, and to come back. I think we can put that to bed.
Yeah. I tell you, they have pride up there.
You can put that to bed.
Yeah.
You can put that to bed. And they're being led by the captain. So,
well, the other thing is the embarrassment of losing to St. George.
Just,
Wouldn't it be?
well,
You know how much stick they would have taken?
Yeah. Once again, expectations.
Yeah. Over in the first division, start right off the bat. Paget Lions.
Right.
Yeah. Got the battle of Somerset Eagles.
Well,
You called it a rivalry, and it pretty much matched up to that because those two teams have battled over the years. Whether they be at the top of the table or the bottom of the table, they've battled over the years. And the standout player, obviously, is Dion Stubble scoring twice to basically separate the two teams and keep Paget in the running to be promoted. Win the league and be promoted.
We're like I said, we're still, waiting to hear exactly what Dion Stubble's status will be going forward.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be instrumental. I think, I would say this, Earl. I'm probably confident that they'll get promotion without Dion for a few games. But I don't know if I'm confident if they will win
the league.
Without Dion.
Here lies the problem. I do believe if Dion is selected in the team, and the team is not going to be announced today, was not announced today, it's going to be announced on Friday. One of the games, I believe they have either BAA or Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem would be if they face them both while he's not there.
Ooh.
But I will check into that, and I will let you know on Thursday. Yeah. Let's go to BAA Hamilton Parish at Wellington Oval.
Why we go there?
Because it happened.
It's not much of a story, though.
Okay.
The score line was what?
7-1.
Are you surprised?
Not at all.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, but let's go to Malabar. You made a prediction that Island Rangers would score.
I tell you.
The unfortunate thing is they gave up 10.
I tell you.
So Georgia's beat Island Rangers 10-1.
And once again, when you have a proven goal scorer and the other team doesn't, but I knew they would somehow, and I made that when I talked about Social Club, very similar makeup.
Right.
When you talk about Island Rangers, and when I say makeup, these players are the Island Ranger players.
Yeah.
We would expect them to fall off and not show up.
Yeah. Show up. Every game.
Now, do they have the talent that the Somerset Trojans or the Somerset Eagles have?
No. But they show up.
If they want to kick, let's go all the way up the road.
Yeah.
And they get a kick. And they show. And, we talk about those type of teams even in cricket when we talk about the Somerset Bridge guys and even but just the Somerset Bridge guys alone, we talk about, the talent compared to the other teams is, not on par. But the heart that these guys have, and they love to play.
Oh yeah.
So same way with Island Rangers, these guys, they love to play.
Right.
So it's always a joy to watch these guys because it can be quite humorous at times. But guarantee you go watch one of these matches or the Island Rangers play. I can't tell you last time I heard 0-0 scoreline.
Well, it's always 0-0 on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday before the game starts.
So, folks, if you want to see goals,
find out where Island Rangers are playing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they do score too. See, like I said, they do score.
Yeah. Well, from Malabar, let's go to Lords.
Yeah.
St. David's entertained Southampton Rangers. 5-0 Rangers.
Yeah.
We both picked Rangers. I thought the match would have been a lot closer than that.
Actually, they had some injuries down there and some key players, and it's going to be St. David's once again. It's just one of those seasons. I joke with the boys down there because they get your hopes up just enough.
But they ride off the wave of cricket season that's still got a flow, but they forget football's a long.
And we was hoping that maybe they would have been because we were saying this quite a while about Crossroads and even Social Club. They got your hopes up just enough and then fall back. But that's been St. Davis. It's just been consistency. And Rangers is looking stronger and stronger as the weeks go on.
Yeah. Interesting with those three teams at the top of the table. Final match, the match that was abandoned at Devonshire Recreation Club, featuring Wolves and Devonshire Colts. Devonshire Colts were up 3-0 at the time, but altercations on the field forced the referee to call an end to the game. It's not the first time, and I'm pretty sure it won't be the last time. It's just unfortunate that these things take place. And I will say, I was there early, saw some of the things that was going on. A lot of people point the finger at the referee, but also, as I was speaking with a Wolves player after the match, who was indicating to a few people that the referee let the game get out of hand, I said, at what point in time are we as men that play sports going to take some responsibility for our actions?
This is where it's saying. This is where it's saying. This is what really irritates me. You mentioned accountability, and I'm not even just talking about accountability with the player. I'm getting to the top.
Coach, president, club
president.
Yeah.
Okay, club president. These young men are representing your club.
Yep.
Okay, these young men are embarrassing your club. Now, we could play this blame game. He said, she said, this right, that was wrong. But they are wearing your jersey. They're not wearing their shirt.
Right.
So they're not representing just themselves. They're wearing your shirt. So there has to be, and we talked about this in the last show with talking about boarding schools, with code of conduct and these type of things.
Yep.
Where is it?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Who's in control?
And what's going to happen? And okay, Earl, here it is Tuesday, right? Have you heard any disciplinary actions being taken by the club? No. Because what they're going to do is wait for
the association,
the BFE.
And then you know what they're going to say? Oh, they're harsh on our club.
We've been down this street. I mean, it's repaved and repaved and repaved again because it's been worn out.
Yeah.
That's why it's sad. Now, was the referee had a bad decisions? Probably, yeah. Was it the first time referees had bad decisions?
Nope.
No.
Will it happen
Will it
again?
be the last time?
No.
No. Does it only happen in Bermuda? No. Does it happen in EPL? Of course.
Yeah.
Does it happen in World Cup?
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. But there's other ways to deal with it.
Right. Right.
Okay, and yes, some games you will lose by a harsh call. But there's other ways to deal with it. And if we can get our president to hold our coaches accountable, how are you expecting your coaches to be accountable, that these players be accountable to the coach?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, they're still young men, and you're telling me the game has to be abandoned because it doesn't feel safe out here. We're playing a game.
Yeah, it's exactly that.
We're playing a game.
Yeah.
Our game's not supposed to be safe. This is not. It's not even like it's a motorsport where we're gonna really see. It's a ball.
Yeah.
And I don't feel safe.
They finished games in Afghanistan.
I don't feel safe.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Man, this is sad. So I don't want to hear,
it's everybody else's fault.
I don't want to hear that.
Take some of the responsibility for your actions and your club's actions and your players' actions and do something about it. And that stands for all teams.
Earl, the first, you wasn't there. I don't need to be there.
Yeah. I don't have to see how it started.
When I hear match abandoned, because you don't feel safe playing a game that only has one ball, not no weapons and something is wrong, right? And I'm tired of people making excuses.
And that's all they do. It's excuse,
making excuses.
excuse. Instead of deal with the situation. Simple as that.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber to the home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Well, Jay, last week, Bermuda was graced with the presence of world champion Flora Duffy. She was back doing some promotions for the upcoming triathlon here in April.
It's coming.
Got a chance to sit down and talk with her at the Hamilton Princess. Let's get that interview with Flora Duffy. Well, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's been a while, but how is marriage life treating you?
So far so good. We're only a 1 month in, so nothing to complain about yet.
We'll talk to Dan later. But the local triathlon, April 28th, fast approaching. You're here. Have you started to feel those nerves as of yet, as pressure will be put on you to kind of impress in front of your local home crowd?
Yeah, I mean, the race is quickly approaching now. I've sort of, back into training and, of course, laying out my goals and everything for the season. Of course, the WTS in Bermuda is a big goal. It's a big star on it. And, of course, I can definitely feel the expectation put on me. But at the same time, just trying to remember that it's an incredible opportunity to race at home as the reigning world champion. And so it is a really special moment, as, of course, a lot of expectation surrounding the race, but I try to take it in my stride.
Now, when you started out competing as a professional, and there was always that number one, now that you're number one and you've been able to defend that title, did you think it would be as much pressure? And when I say pressure, I'm talking about not actual racing, because racing for you is fun. It's the other stuff that comes around with it.
Yeah, of course. I think that's the side you forget or you don't really realize until you're in this position. And of course, now that I am two-time, world ITU world champion, and then of course Xterra world titles, that means you get more notoriety, you get more sponsors, you have more obligations. For example, I'm back here for a few days. I flew in from South Africa, but of course I had some sponsorship obligations, and I'm happy to be here, and that's all part of the journey. And of course, at sometimes you're like, oh man, I wish I could just train, but at the same time, this is a pretty special opportunity to have to be in this position. So it's all part of it. But there's a lot more that comes to just simply trying to perform your best. There's a whole other side that you have to balance as well, which is definitely the trickiest part.
As an elite athlete for Bermuda, Commonwealth Games are around the corner. You were one that was afforded the athlete scholarship funding. How does that help athletes such as yourself and others who get awards of financial rewards to help you prepare for international competition?
Oh, it's a huge help. I mean, for me, it's like I'm sort of looking at the cost of going to Commonwealth Games now, and it's incredible how expensive it gets. And then thankful with this scholarship, I'm allowed to spend it on bringing a coach there with me and spend it on any accommodation or flights. So that really helps too, because that means that Dan, my husband, he's also, he's very involved with my training and racing, that he gets to come there. And this funding allows us to do that. And it's such a huge help for me, because otherwise I go to a lot of these other big races on my own, which of course can be quite daunting. And then if something goes wrong, you just don't have that somebody there to help you and support you and help you talk through the race and everything that's going on around the race. So it's really very grateful for this scholarship.
What does 2018 look like for you? You said you're starting to map out your year. Obviously, you want to retain the title that you've over the period of the year. But what does it initially look like for you?
Well, the first two major goals are in April, which in itself is actually hard to build up for because it's so early in the season. For me, 2017 I raced all the way until mid-November and then had a 4-week break, and then that leaves you mid-December, and then you count the weeks from when you first start training to Commonwealth Games April 5th, I think it is. And it's not that many weeks when you break it down into training. So it's definitely quite a tricky task to sort of build me up correctly and then get me into tip-top shape for Commonwealths and then for WTS Bermuda 3 weeks later. So those are the big 2 goals for the moment, and I think if I nailed those, I'd be incredibly happy. And then, yeah, of course, the rest of the WTS season and try to retain my title. But that's a lot for 1 year, so we'll just have to see how it goes after April and then reassess where I'm at, how I'm feeling, and map out the rest of the year then.
What is the feeling like being on top of the world?
Well, I don't know if I'm quite on top of the world, to be honest. Yeah, but I think for me, it's just trying to make it normal for me. I mean, I guess sometimes I step back and realize, like, wow, look what all that you have accomplished, and I get to be here, having this incredible opportunity. There's some journalists that have come in and they're shadowing my training, and I get to stay at the Hamilton Princess, and it's like really fantastic opportunities that I guess I get. And so when I step back and look at that and look at the incredible sponsors that I have now, that you do realize, like, wow, I am actually sort of living the dream. But I suppose the day-to-day grind, it's not so glamorous when I'm training 4 or 5 hours a day, going to bed at 9, watching what I'm eating and just repeating that. But yeah, it's a pretty special, I guess, place to be in my life at the moment.
All right, well, good luck in 2018 Swim Bike Run.
Yeah, great, thank you.
Well, Jay, your sport.
Oh, yeah, sure.
The sport of squash. International squash returns to Bermuda.
I like rackets.
Oh, you like rackets? Oh, you're a stout, then. You're a stout.
Me and James have been, sparring.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
How you making out?
Not good.
Rough again? But come next month, we will have a whole host of international squash players on island playing in the Bermuda Open. That's the first time in quite a while that we've hosted.
Where is it?
Bermuda Squash Rackets Association Club.
That's a downer for me. You know why?
Why, it's in Devonshire?
Because when when I think of this Bermuda Open,
Oh, you want a glass court?
yes,
and all that.
outdoor.
Well, they're building towards that.
Yeah.
This is the first time that they've had this in a number of years. So they're actually, just testing the waters to see how it all materializes. But got a chance to speak with Patrick Foster, who's the director of squash
Come
for
on,
Bermuda.
Patrick. We're going to make this happen, Patrick.
And here's the interview with
Come
Patrick
on, Patrick.
Foster.
I know you could do it, Patrick.
Patrick, it is exciting time, the fact that international squash will return to Bermuda. Take us through how all this came about.
Well, like you say, we've got up-and-coming professionals. So our young players, there's 3 that are on the world rankings. There's the 2 guys, Micah Franklin and Noah Brown, and there's Rachel Barnes, who isn't fully on the professional tour, but she's our club champion. She's won our national championships in the past, and all 3 of those were in the junior program together and have now got to that level where they're playing at a sort of semi-pro or professional level. So the initial idea was simple. There's this world tour that operates globally. The tournaments go in prize money from $1,000 up to a couple of $100,000 at the world championship level. And as an association, we wanted to put one together to support our local players by providing a tournament where they can earn money, they can earn points, and they can do so on their home courts without traveling to the far corners of the planet. So that was the idea. We went out to our squash community for financial support, and it sort of grew from there. We ended up with not just a men's event, we ended up with a ladies' event. We have a $5,000 prize purse for both of those events. There's the world ranking points on offer, and then what happens is you register your event with the Professional Squash Association, and the international pros who are listed on the world ranking list can enter. And now we have a full draw and a full list of players coming from all over the world. And it's ended up really exciting and a great event, not just for the 3 that we initially thought of, but for the whole squash community. So we're excited.
Can you see this remaining on the squash calendar and eventually getting bigger?
Definitely remaining on the calendar. I mean, obviously it's a new venture. It's been a few years since we hosted major professional events. We did end up with the biggest tournaments in the world at one stage. Back in 2007, we had the World Championships. I don't think we're in the market for that kind of development just yet. But certainly, I think having a pro event in Bermuda seems like a real a draw for all of these international players. Certainly, we've got a great mix of people from all over the world coming to it, which shows you the kind of enticement that there is to come to a place like Bermuda. And as long as we do a good job and everyone has a good time and the spectators enjoy it, I don't see why we wouldn't be able to use the same template and go forward doing it on an annual basis. I hope, that would be my hope, definitely, to keep it going.
Now, everything will be taking place at the Bermuda Squash Rackets Association Club?
That's right, yep.
Who are the top drawers outside of the home favorites?
Well, the way it works is specifically in the women's event, it's a 16 draw. There's no qualifiers coming in, so you can see exactly who's got who first round. There are, based on the world rankings, the players are seeded and spread out, so you do end up with the top 8 ranked players playing against the bottom 8 ranked players in the opening round. Names to look out for would be the top seed, the Canadian Nikki Todd. She, by all accounts, is extremely strong and possibly ranked a little lower than she really is playing standard-wise. And so she's going to be a tough one to beat. But, she's got a Brazilian girl first round, which should be exciting to watch. We have a young Egyptian in the draw who's playing against the Finnish number 1. That should be really exciting. Of course, the Egyptians are really strong on the World Tour these days. So I want to see her play. We have some Caribbean players coming over. So we have young Mary Fungafat from Guyana, who is awesomely talented. She's been fantastically successful as a junior. So it'd be really interesting to see if she can do well. She's got number 3 seed from Colombia, Catalina Pelea's first round. So there's good ones to watch out for. I must admit, I haven't had the chance to watch the Pro Ladies Tour as much as I would have liked. So I'm going to pick all of them as my games to watch. Specifically, I want to watch our local player, Rachel Barnes. She will be playing Anna Kimberley, who's over from England, who's the number 8 seed. So she's got a real tough opening match there on Tuesday evening. But, she'll have a big crowd cheering her on, and hopefully she can go for it. On the men's side, we have a qualifying competition initially. So we have 8 local players playing against 8 international players in a 2-round qualifying competition that's held on Monday, February 26th. So out of those 16 players, the top 4 then get drawn into the main draw. And the 4 options of who you might get in the main draw are all tough. Being that if these qualifiers come through, you can draw the number 1 seed, Angus Gillams from England. You could draw the number 6 seed, Henrik Mustonen from Finland, who is a former top 30 player in the world. You can get Anthony Graham, the number 4 seed from England. You can finally, possibly, get drawn against the number 8 seed, who is Michael Franklin from Bermuda. So there is a chance of an all-Bermuda first round in the men's draw. But it really is wait and see at this stage as to who comes through and then who gets drawn where. There are a number of fixed matches already in that first round that you can see if you look at our website and check the live draws that are on there. We have, an Englishman against a Guatemalan. We have a USA-Canada battle in there. We've got an English-Canadian battle. We have a young man from Trinidad, Cale Wilson. He plays Noah Brown in the first round. So there's some fantastic matchups. And across the 2 draws and the qualifying, we're going to have some great squash to watch down here. We're excited. Our ticket sales is kind of off the hook at the moment. The phone's going nuts, and we've had a really exciting day just since launching this morning. So it should be really good.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber-to-the-home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Well, Jay, come to the end of another
No, because there's a couple of things I want to mention.
What you want to mention?
Dowry.
Yeah.
Good knock.
152 on Saturday.
Career
33. Pretty much, yeah.
That's the thing. He had a 140 before.
Yeah.
Before that.
Yeah. Got 33 on Sunday. 2 for 15 from 5. Good weekend all around for him. The game on Saturday, they still have the second half of the game to play.
We talked about how
they play one weekend, one team bats, or you play out the overs. And you what they would have done, they made 358 for 5.
Yeah.
And then declared with 13 overs to go. And North Sydney had a 23 for 3, I believe. Yeah, after 13 overs. So conditions would have changed. They would have said, "Look, let's try and get into them now." Not into them. Only 7 wickets to get next Saturday.
So it could be a short day for them.
Well, they're probably hoping so. Yeah.
It'd be interesting, and you probably know what does the groundsman do with that wicket?
What do you mean? Oh,
Yeah.
right. Well, I often ask the same question because they do play on the same strip, you know.
Right. So what do you do with it? There's a whole week.
Yeah.
Grass grows.
Conditions change. Like we could bet in perfect conditions this Saturday, come back and be overcast and ball swinging big and.
But just the wicket itself, the preparation of the wicket. Do you? That's a question. That's a question I put forward to Delray.
Yeah.
What actually happens with that wicket over that week?
Yeah. And what happens if that particular wicket gets damaged?
Yeah. Interesting. The other thing, and I just want to make special mention, is definitely the All-Star weekend.
Oh yes. Started with volleyball on Thursday, went to netball Friday, and a full slate of matches on Saturday with football. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you've played an All-Star match, and this is for all the All-Stars. It's something that you guys would never, ever, ever forget. Being picked as an all-star amongst your peers and then representing your region. So now it's not just your school versus school, it's your region.
Right.
Even though, and you looked at, when I even looked at the senior football, how many players are playing in the Premier Division or first flight football.
Yeah.
It's great to see that the all-stars are really making their way into men now, as you would say. But also with the women, with the netball.
Yeah.
A lot of these.
I think there's a lot of talk about the actual days that these are held, only because I believe 90% of the guys that played in the senior school boys all-star match played the night before and then turned around and played 90 minutes for the.
Yeah, I was going to mention that when we talked about our football segment because quite a bit of those youngsters actually played or didn't play. So it would have been a detriment to some of these teams and to some of those school lines that we talked about. But obviously, they're going to play the All-Star game first. So, like I said, I'm with you with that. It's going to be interesting how they do go about because that school schedule is tight. It's very
The other
tight.
thing was the netball was played on the Friday night. Netball games are played on Saturday.
On Saturday, yeah. So do they somehow, once again, that collaboration between the school, what's it, BSSF?
Yeah. Well, I know in years gone by, there are some times where the All-Star game was played on the Friday. There was still no football on the Saturday from the BFA. Where the netball was played on a Thursday and volleyball was played on the Wednesday. So that gives them a day.
At least a game.
Yeah.
Now, some will crash and you know what? These are youngsters. They got their gas. They got a reserve tank and another reserve tank. If it was me and you, we still need the 10 days plus.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but still,
but for safety reasons, you wanna err on the side of caution.
Yeah. So,
but it is.
But in saying that, man, great competition.
Yeah.
And it's good to see that once again we are recognizing our own. So hopefully in the next coming years we can even publicize it even more. and get more crowds out, because I think we still need to give our love and respect to our youngsters who are coming through.
Definitely.
That's it for me.
No. All right, well, folks, because Jay is done,
I'm not saying anymore.
we're done. Good night.